And so now I'm going to make the definitive video on holding the guitar and sitting properly with it, and how your back is supposed to be with a nice and proper posture and all the details going along with holding the instrument from a pure beginner you've never played before. So I'm right-handed. Therefore, the acoustic guitar sits on my right leg. This is my left leg here. This is my right. The acoustic guitar is resting here on my right leg, right in a good position, like so. Okay, now here's the thing. This part of my arm is resting, and on the acoustic guitar there's more surface area. So it's resting here, somewhere between the side, and the edge. Okay? Putting it at this angle. Notice it's at this angle, and this hand rather, is not supporting it at all. Because when you're playing a song practically, you can't be supporting the guitar neck with the left hand. So no matter what type you have, you need to have that sort of locked in way of holding it. Because on the electric, I have an SG Standard 2017 model. It has a contour to it here. It's got a little contour to it, and it's a much slimmer slab of solid mahogany. So your arm in that case would be your right arm, like the inside of your bicep, is more or less resting on the little contour, and it's kind of more on the body, it's kind of more on the top surface of the instrument, whereas on the acoustic it's more boxy. But nevertheless, you need to create this angle where you're free to make your chords. Now there's another way of playing, which would be like this, resting the guitar on your left leg if you're right-handed in a classical position, and that's completely ridiculous for a beginner to go down that route, because you would be trying to access these frets, and you don't need to worry about that. It's the wrong direction to go unless you're getting very specialized from the beginning. But the other thing a beginner is going to want to do is constantly look over and see what the fingers are doing. You want to see where they are in relation to the strings, and are you doing it properly? Because you don't have that muscle memory. But what you want is a good posture where you're leaning, standing up straight, not leaning over. So all I can really see is the thickest string and the fifth string, string 6 and 5, when I'm sitting up properly. And when I crane over, that's when I can see more. Generally, you just want to see this and be relying on muscle memory. You first start out, you can look a little bit, but get in the habit of backing up, standing up straight, sitting at the edge of the chair, and only being able to see this area on the guitar where my fingers are. Not be relying on craning over. Why? Because you're creating bad habits. Another bad habit is having the instrument flopped over, not completely perpendicular, having it like this. Why? That's going to put your wrist at a horrible angle. And again, you're creating, whatever you do repeatedly, you're reinforcing it, bad habits or good. So when you do that, it's at a weird angle, like a 45-degree angle. Your wrist is bad. You're training everything wrong. It needs to be flattened and standing up straight and supported with the right hand, with the right inner arm. Okay? So those are the main things I can think of, I think. The right hand, to review, the right hand, the right leg, I mean, if you're right-handed. It is possible for lefties to learn to play righty. So this part, the curvature of the instrument on the right leg, right arm draping over, supporting the neck firmly up against your side, kind of like the beginning of my hip. On the acoustic, you have more surface area. On the electric, it's more like a contour. You would be resting in that contour, allowing you to make your chord shapes. And don't bother with this classical idea. unless you really set out to do that. So thanks a lot, guys. I'm sorry the first part of the recent live stream was made private because I accidentally showed a piece of paper when I opened the case, and I made it private before it processed to the HD version. When I looked back at it, you couldn't see a thing, so that's just the way that went. But no matter which guitar you have, keep in mind the things I told you here today. And now one thing I'd like to mention, you don't even need the guitar to think about this, is what kind of shirt you're going to wear. That's actually kind of important, because the kind of material you have might make the guitar hard to hold, as opposed to if you're wearing short sleeve. So if you're wearing a big baggy shirt like this, I recommend you try to roll up your sleeve to a large degree, or just wear a t-shirt. And where I have a certain shirt on now, this maroon colored shirt underneath, it's got very long sleeves. So I recommend you wear a shirt that isn't too long, isn't too baggy. If it's nice and appropriate, wear a short sleeve, or just simply roll up your sleeve. All little things, but stuff to consider. So thank you.